Yeah, my name is Bill Whaley. I'm an alcoholic, and it's Billwhaley. And I was in the U.S. Army, 1972 to 1973. Got out on general discharge, lack of education and drug abuse. And at the time, I didn't think it was drug abuse, but anyway, that's another story. So,
Ready to go?
Yep.
So let's start at the beginning, Bill. When is it that you realized that, when you truly realized that you had a problem?
Probably when I got married in 1980. 10 months into the marriage, I came out of a blackout, and the house was all tore up, and I was pretty much didn't know what to do. And they had a mental hospital over there called Kernview in Bakersfield, California, and I committed myself over there. I was definitely crazy, but I didn't know what was wrong with me. And when I got there, they interviewed me, and they thought that they had a place called the PAT unit called Patients for Alcohol Treatment, and that's where I needed to be. And I said, okay, I'll go through your program. And it was an 8-week program, and that's when I was introduced to Alcoholics Anonymous in 1981, August of '81. And yeah, I went through that program, and I stayed sober out of fear because I wanted my marriage to work, and we started having kids, and I still didn't feel right. I knew something was wrong with me, but like I said, I stayed sober out of fear for 20 years. In 1981, I started back up. I started a business in '89, and after 8 or 9 years in business, kind of fell away from the program and friends in the program, and started associating with some of the wrong people. And before you knew it, I was drinking O'Doul's, and then I went on a fishing trip in '01 and bought an 18-pack of beer. Thought, you know what? I couldn't have been an alcoholic. Maybe I was just mixed up kid at the time. Now I'm successful. I thought I could handle a beer. Well, anyway, long and short of it, it didn't take long. I was right back to where I was when I was 25 when I first got sober, and it happened pretty rapidly, and I stayed sober. Stayed drunk for 6 years and got sober again in '07, and stayed sober for 4 years, and was working the program pretty good, and the marriage kind of went south for some reason. I know what it was. In '08, the bubble broke on the housing market. My business went to crap, and I just couldn't handle what was going on. We lost our home, and in 2010 I lost my business. I actually shut it down because I was losing everything, and the only thing I knew to turn to was alcohol. That was my savior. I knew that would numb the pain, and it's taken 10 years or 11 years. We're in 2022, and going through your program. I don't know, 4 years ago, I went through it twice in Bakersfield, but I wasn't ready until this last time because I was up against it. COVID had hit, and I'd been drinking 30 beers a day, locked myself in the garage, got up to 265 pounds on oxygen, ended up in the hospital. Pretty much I was killing myself, and that's what I wanted. I just wanted to go out, be done. And my family did an intervention on me. Thank God they did. And I called Raymond over here at Legacy and Solid Rock, and you guys let me come back one more time. Third time was here, and I don't know what, it just worked this time for me. I was able to come here and go through your program and surrendered to my higher power. And I didn't know what the future held, but I know I didn't want no more what I had. And I got back into AA, and the last year has just been a tremendous ride, man. I went through the steps the right way this time. And after doing the 4-step and the 5th step, and my character defects 6 and 7, and I've been able to go through the steps, and that's what's really saved my life.
Okay. What was it like for your family when, especially after multiple times of going through, but the last, let's say, couple of years before you finally hooked on to things, what was it like for your wife, for your kids?
Well, it wasn't good. It was the wife and I had pretty much become roommates at this point, and I kind of stayed away from her, and she stayed away from me. It wasn't much there, and my daughter, she would come over with the grandkids, and at the time, I mean, I didn't know any better. I would be in the garage drinking my beer, and then I'd go in and play with the kids a little bit, but I was tearing them up. I didn't realize what I was doing to the family, and yeah, it wasn't a good situation. But when, like I said, when they did that intervention on me, they came to the house, and this was like a year and a half after straight drinking 30 beers a day and just totally out of it. And they were all there crying. I was drunk. I came, what's going on? And my daughter was crying, my wife was crying, my son was crying, and my son's an alcoholic too, but that's another story. He just, in time, it's gonna, you know, he'll get some help. But anyway, I didn't know how to get the help, and I told him, I said, look, only people I know is Raymond over at Legacy Village. They're over in the Pomo now, and I'd been here when you first opened up, but I hadn't really checked the program out. And Raymond told me, yeah, we'll take you on. Got the VA involved, and then I came over on the 30th. Denny picked me up on the 30th of August, 2021, and the family didn't say much. They were happy that I was coming, but with my track record, they didn't know, okay, is this going to be another 30 days, and he's going to be back at it again. But this time something happened. I don't know what it was. I reached out to God, I think, for the first time, really asking for his help and in honesty. And mean it, like I said, with no reservations. I always had reservations, I think. And I wanted it more than I wanted to be drunk. And I seen what it was doing to the family, and my grandkids, my daughter. And I said, this ain't, it's not about me no more. Look what I'm doing to my family, people that love me. And yeah, it's been a journey. And thank God, after I got through the ninth step, and I had my daughter crying, but she's so proud of me now. I spend time with the grandkids, and they come over. We'll have 2 or 3 days. And my wife, that was a tough one, but she accepted my apologies, and I told her I was totally in the wrong. It was all me. It was never her, but I always put the blame on her. But it was me. I was the one that was doing the harm to everybody. And since alcohol's been out of the picture for a year, things have got a lot better. Really have, Dennis. It's I'm back golfing and stuff, and we're doing barbecues, and yeah, the whole not only my immediate family, but all my sister, my nieces and nephews, and it's all good. It's been I can't wait till I just had my year birthday last Tuesday on the 30th of August, and I can't wait till what this next year brings, man. I really can't, because it's like they say, if you'd have wrote down on a piece of paper what you expected, I'd have cut myself short, because it's been a lot of blessings this year.
If you were talking to another veteran, how would you explain to them how they're welcomed here, what they would experience here? Given that it's a veterans-only place, what's it like for somebody who maybe has that pride, has that ego, and has that stuff? What do they experience when they're here?
Well, I could say that I knew that this veterans place, I didn't want to go back to AA, because I'd been there, and I thought, well, I really don't want to go there. I'd rather go to a veterans place. And I didn't really know what to expect, but they accepted me just the way I was, and spiritually, all the staff were. I remember Larry that used to used to work here. Me and him hooked up pretty good, and I've always been a Christian, but that brought my faith back, with staff, and just the way they treat you here. They treat us like, put us up in these nice rooms, and yeah, it was a really nice program. We stayed busy with all the classes we went to. They took us to outside AA meetings, and even the surfing. Every Tuesday went surfing. Well, I couldn't surf. I was on oxygen, 265 pounds. I barely could breathe, but I'd go to the ocean and watch the guys, and they had a heck of a time, man. It was all the veterans. I think it was 12 of us at the time. We bonded pretty good that 12, and looking forward to seeing a lot of them today. This alumni thing that we're going to do today, and if you're a veteran out there struggling, I'm telling you, man, there is a way out of it, but you got to be willing to, do the work, get into a facility, because it's only your life you're talking about, right? Come on, through wars and through whatever you've put yourself through, and I'm 67 years old now, and had I got this and really stuck back in the day, because I stayed sober out of fear at the first go around. This go around, I'm staying sober through God and AA and working a program. And it started right here at Legacy Village. They laid the groundwork for me to be able to do this, and thank God I had a facility like this to come to. So.
Kind of just a question that puts all what we talked to into one thing. Recovery and going through a program, reuniting with your family, all of those different things. What does that mean? What does life look like today?
Life looks good. It really does. I'm currently looking for a part-time job, and I didn't think I wanted to go back to work. I just got so much energy. Golf's a passion of mine. Guitar playing's a passion of mine, and I didn't have that passion. Alcohol had taken all the passion away. I had no passion for anything but alcohol, and since that's been removed and better things have, the new tapes, because the old tapes are still there. I'm one thought away from a drunk. I just got to keep that in mind. I'm an alcoholic, and today I haven't had a drink all day. What a blessing that is. It's a miracle. And the future looks good as long as I do the work and stay focused. And today, I have to worry about today. And there's a guy in AA, he's been sober 40-something years, and he says that quitting the rest of his life was going to be impossible. But just quitting today, he could handle that. And that's really all we got to deal with is today. And I like that. If you just worry about today and you do the right things today, pretty good chance you might be sober tomorrow. But anyway, the future looks good for me, I think.